Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered with Nikki Dawson. And I actually missed last week's episode, and it's because I just had so much on last week, and I was still sort of like organizing and sorting out things that I was talking about in the last episode. So I thought, I've got nothing new to talk about. I mean, I guess I could have definitely done a little recap and gone over things, but I like to talk about sort of like topics that just come to mind, and that's what I've always wanted this podcast to be. Like, I don't ever want it to feel forced, and I just want it to be things that I naturally want to talk about, and anything that comes up in my life that I'm like, nah, I'm going to talk about that topic. But like last week, I just had the same things on my mind, and yeah, I guess I was to a certain extent like a bit mentally drained last week, and yeah, just so much going on with my parents, and also just like thinking about work stuff as well. So yeah, but I'm feeling good this week. I definitely needed to rest on the weekend, which is something that I didn't do. I have made a lot of plans for myself, which I love. I love catching up with my friends. You guys all know that, but I probably shouldn't have booked in so much because I didn't really have time to myself, and I didn't really spend that much time with my husband, which is something that we should be focusing on because he obviously works FIFO. But anyways, we still went out for a nice dinner on Valentine's Day. I should do a little recap of what my past fortnight has looked like. So maybe let's start with the weekend. So as I said, I just booked in way too much stuff, and I find that this happens every so often. Like sometimes I'll have a weekend where I literally have nothing booked in, and then another weekend where I have like 4 or 5 catch-ups. And this weekend in particular, so it was Valentine's Day on Saturday. So I was invited by one of my friends to go to a Galentine's sort of like morning, and it included Pilates, and it was just like the sweetest thing. I really, really enjoyed that. So that was in City Beach, and it was on the beach. So we did Pilates and then had a little catch up. And after that, we went and got some breakfast, which was very nice. Went to Bert's in City Beach, which seems like it's relatively new. I'd never heard of it before, but very, very nice. We had the bacon and egg burger there and it had 2 hash browns in there. I love hash browns, so that was just amazing. And then after that, I went to the gym and got a few things done around the house as well. Oh, actually, before that, I caught up with one of my friends in the morning. We went for a little trig walk, so that was very cute. Forgot about that. So I'd had 2 catch-ups on Saturday morning. And then on Saturday night, we went to Garum in the city, which is like near the Western Hotel. It was actually one of the first places that we went to for like a proper like dinner when we first started seeing each other. So very, very cute to have our little Valentine's date there. And it was a set menu. So we had for entrees the prosciutto and rock melon with ricotta, and also the ceviche. If there is ever ceviche on the menu, we have to get it. That is one of our go-tos. And then for the mains, there was an insane duck tortellini. It was just next level. And I had also the fish as well. And then for dessert, the tiramisu. Honestly, the tiramisu at Garum is just, I cannot speak highly enough of it. It is the second best tiramisu I have ever had. First best tiramisu is obviously in Italy at a place called Two Sizes, I want to say. because you can either get like a smaller size or a large. So that's why they called it that. But yeah, this tiramisu is so good. It has lots of cream, and I want to say mascarpone as well, cream. Just, I love cream. I love cream. So good. And then yesterday, I also had a little catch-up, Sunday morning catch-up with a couple of my girlfriends, and we went for a walk and had coffee, of course. And after that, had a little brunch date. We went to Cafe LA in Leederville, which is relatively new, and the food was quite nice, but cannot say the same for the service. The service was actually really, really bad. And I think it's just because it was so busy. It is a very like Instagrammable, like aesthetic sort of place. So I think that definitely doesn't help with like how busy it is, and also the service as well. But otherwise that was quite nice. Then last night we took out our tenants that are leaving us for some travels in our investment property. So we took them out for a dinner, and we went to this new place in Vic Park. So it is sort of like a mix of different like restaurants in the one place. So it is a heritage listed building. It's like at the start of the Vic Park strip. So they have redone this building. They've put all restaurants in, and they even had veggie patches as well, which was super cute, and lots of herbs planted everywhere. It was definitely giving like, I don't know, like farm stay vibes, but food was insane. The pizza, I don't know what they did to this pizza base, but it was really, really good. And yeah, cannot rate it highly enough. So did I even say what it was called? Bally Hall. And we ate at just one of like the main places there. So that's us going out to eat 3 times on the weekend. So that was quite a lot, and that's not normal for me to be eating out that much. I definitely am the type of person that prefers to have like all my main meals at home and snackies and like eating out occasionally. But it just happened that I had so much on this weekend, and that's absolutely fine. Sometimes we will have weekends like that, or like days like that. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the weekend. It was really good. And I guess in terms of alcohol, I didn't really drink that much. I had one extremely large glass of red wine on Saturday night. I was like, are you going to stop pouring? When he came to the table and was pouring the glass, I was like, that is like 3 standard drinks there. But anyways, it was very, very nice wine. It was a Cab Sav from Cape Mentel, and it was very, very nice. So yeah, and then we also had a Prosecco on arrival at Garum as well. So yeah, that was probably about 4 standard drinks, which is just the recommendations around alcohol per day. But anyways, I don't drink very often, so I thought that was fine. But yeah, so that was just the weekend. I was so busy, so busy, but I'm feeling good after the weekend. And I did go to the gym on Saturday as well. I have not been running the past couple of weeks just because I have been feeling just so busy and overwhelmed with everything else that's going on. But I definitely do need to get back into running because I have noticed that maybe I'm overthinking a few things. And I always say to people that running has really, really helped with my mental health. Like, it does give me a lot of clarity when I do run. And I know that probably sounds really lame, but it actually does. Like, running has been really good for me. Maybe I might even go tonight. Let's see. I'm not going to run a 10K. I was really enjoying just running like 5Ks, getting it done half an hour, or no, a little bit less, 25 minutes, because I was doing just over 5 minutes per K. I think I will try this week. No, I will try this week for at least 2 to 3 runs. So let's see how that goes. And I'm sure that I will be feeling heaps better, like mentally, when I do incorporate those runs back in. It happens every single time. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start running. And then all of a sudden I have like this mental clarity. You know what? The running, it's a good thing for me to incorporate back into my routine. So yeah. And otherwise, what else has been happening? I feel like last week, honestly, like my dad did call me quite a few times last week because recently my mum has been a little bit of a handful, and I can definitely see that when I have seen her in the past week. Can't remember if I mentioned last time on my podcast that her medication that she has started for her Alzheimer's is actually working, but it is bringing back some memories, and unfortunately those memories have been a little bit triggering for her, and she is becoming a bit agitated. And unfortunately my dad, he is the main one that is with her all the time, and she is taking it out on him, which is really hard for him because he is her main carer. And he obviously cares a lot about her and wants the best for her, is trying to do everything. And when the person that you're caring for is lashing out at you and being aggressive and just being mean to you, it is not her fault, by the way. This is absolutely not her fault because her cognition is declining. She's not herself. So that is also really upsetting for my dad to see as well, because she can't act like herself, and she can't rationalize as well when she is having these outbursts. It's impossible for her to rationalize. So my poor dad has been calling me quite a few times in the week saying, Mum is acting like this, and like asking me for advice. And she was having an issue with her phone one day last week. And so I said, okay, I'll come over and help you. And she said, we must go to Carousel to sort this phone issue. And she couldn't explain it over the phone. That's something that she struggles with, is word finding. So she can't explain herself. So when I got to her house, she was showing me the phone. She was showing me the banking app and saying, it's not right, it's not right. And then also pointing to her battery logo on the top right-hand corner of the phone and saying, that's not right. So there was a lot of confusion around whether it was the battery or whether it was the banking app. I wasn't sure. She couldn't explain. And so anyway, we got to Carousel and she went to go into the bank. And I said, Mum, I don't think that this is a banking issue that you've got here. And she was like, no, I want to talk to them. And I had to really calm her down. I had to take her away from walking into the bank and like wanting to talk to the bank tellers to sitting down on a bench in Carousel and saying, Mum, let's just talk this through. What's the problem? And we sat there for probably about 10 minutes going through what the issue was before I came to the realization that it was because her phone just wasn't charging. When we got home from Carousel, figured out that the phone charger was broken, had to sort that out, get a new phone charger, and it was sorted. But honestly, sometimes my dad couldn't figure it out because my mum was so agitated and taking it out on dad that he just couldn't get to the bottom of it because she was just getting so angry at him. So I am feeling quite bad for my dad at the moment, poor thing. And we just need to try and manage her. I did speak to her geriatrician about it the other week and saying that she is getting quite agitated. So we are going to sort of change around her medications a little bit to see if we can resolve her mood issues, but we'll see. I really hope that we can. Previously, when she's gone on medication to help with her anxiety, that has helped a lot. I'm hoping that it will take the edge off her anger a little bit. She honestly is like the sweetest little lady, and she's so funny. Like when we're having a moment when we're like laughing and just like talking about silly stuff, like it is so nice. But when she's angry, you're scared. She is really angry and she just won't stop going on and on about the same thing. But yeah, I will keep you posted with how we go with this. I'm sure that if we do make some alterations to her medications, it will take some time for that to kick in, but we'll see. That has been my life for the past like week or so, and I'm sure that you can imagine it is a bit stressful, and I am feeling a bit guilty that I can't be there for my dad all the time. Like the amount of times that I've had missed calls from him and I've had to call him back much later because I've been at work or I've been busy. And poor thing, he also did do like a sleep test the other day because he has been sleeping a lot. And honestly, I do think it is because he is quite elderly. He's 87. I'm like, let the man sleep. But anyway, he did do a sleep test, and I'm not sure exactly why, but he had an adverse reaction when he did the sleep test. So it runs overnight, tracking his sleep. He had electrodes on his body, on his head. He woke up in the morning feeling extremely dizzy and nauseous, and he stood up and he fell, and he didn't know whether he had hit his head. And I was so stressed that day. I was on my way to the hospital when he called and he was like, I'm not feeling well and I had a fall. I don't know if I hit my head. And I was like, Dad, you need to go to emergency right now. And like, he just sounded terrible, and I'd offered to go pick him up, and he's the type of person that's like, no, I'm okay. Like, I don't want to put you out. I'm like, Dad, you are my priority right now. I don't care about work. I could call work and say, I'm not coming in because you've had a fall. I work at a hospital. They understand. So he did book an appointment with his GP instead of going to emergency, and he is all good. He's all fine. Don't know why he felt the way that he did. Yeah. So he has a lot going on. And even when he was feeling the way that he was like, we need to make sure that Mum has taken her medications. And I was like, Dad, stop thinking about other people. Like, you need to just get to the doctors because you're unwell. And he was thinking about Mum, which, like, honestly, like, obviously the way that she's been to him lately, he's not coping particularly well with the way he's been treated, and he still was like, I want to make sure that Mum's okay and that she's taking her medications, which just, like, honestly kind of broke my heart into a million pieces. I was just like, that is very, very sweet. Oh my God, I'm not getting emotional right now. Oh, poor thing. So that has been taking up a lot of my brain space lately. You can see why I just did not have the capacity to record a podcast last week, because I was just like, nah, I can't do this. I cannot do this. But I'm here now. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm always happy to talk about things. So there is something that I want to talk about, and it's sort of been triggered because I have been watching MAFs over the past few days, catching up on all of the episodes. And usually I don't watch TV, I don't watch series, but my husband, he loves reality TV, and he's like, we need to watch MAFs. So I have started watching it with him. I always notice in these reality TV shows that they put a lot of emphasis on people's appearances and also their bodies as well. And to a certain extent, you have to do that because it is love at first sight. So you are only seeing somebody for their face value. There has been a few of the contestants that have made comments about what they would like their partner's bodies to look like. And one of the guys also mentioned that he didn't want anybody that was overweight. And I honestly do not know how the producers allow this sort of language and the way that these people are speaking to go to air. Obviously, it's going to get views and it's going to make people think a certain way about these contestants, which maybe they want people to not like this particular guy. I don't know. And like, he does, honestly, in my eyes, obviously he seems like an absolute asshole because he is commenting on what he would like somebody to look like. And that does not sit right with me at all. I really don't like people focusing on other people's bodies because at the end of the day, that is not what matters. Also, the other point that a lot of the other contestants are making is how attractive the other contestants are. And one of the girls, Gia, so when she came into the room where everybody was meeting for the first time, she stated that she noticed that there wasn't anybody that was like really, really good looking there. And she felt like she was the best looking contestant there. And I don't know why she was making comments like that because it just really did not sit right. And it's portrayed her in this light that it's not very nice. Like, why are you comparing your appearance to all of these other girls? Not everybody is going to like one person's appearance. So she has light colored hair. She has had work done to herself. She looks a certain way. Not all men are going to be attracted to somebody that looks like that. And all of the contestants are beautiful in their own way. And for me personally, I am more attracted to somebody's personality. I often don't look at somebody based on their appearance, and I would never be attracted to somebody who had an ugly personality. That just, no, absolutely not. So yes, sometimes I will look at people and I'll be like, that's a good looking person. But at the end of the day, you cannot sustain a relationship with somebody when you don't have anything in common. And are they making you laugh? Do you have the same sense of humor? Do you have the same morals and values? All of those things definitely matter more than somebody's appearance. Like, yes, you obviously do need to be attracted to the person, but I honestly don't know how anybody could be attracted to somebody when you don't have a lot of things in common. And also when they are making comments and saying things like, I don't want to be with somebody that's overweight. That would absolutely turn me. I would be like, I could never be with somebody that is making comments like that and looking at somebody based on their body. Like, it's just not it. Like, I do not like that whatsoever. I know that I'm just speaking from how I feel, and not everybody will feel the same way. I know that girl Gia, she did mention that sexual chemistry was a huge thing for her, and it seems like her and her partner that she's been matched with do have a lot of sexual chemistry, but also there are other components that are coming out where they do align. So it's really interesting to see the way that they are connecting compared to some of the others. So then there is another couple, Julia, and I can't remember the guy's name now. I want to say Grayson maybe. So he said his vows, she said her vows, and immediately there was that connection. And it was because they had the same values and they just seem like they're a very, very good match. sexual chemistry, don't know about that. But they just connect on another level, their values and morals. So when he was saying his vows, the way she was looking at him was just amazing. Like, she was hanging on his every word, and obviously that is attractive for her. That was something that is so important to her. So I would be more like her rather than looking at what somebody looks like. So I know everybody is so different. Everybody really is. So there's one of the other couples, Beck and Danny, and they seem to be off to a really good start at the beginning, but then she has had more of a think about his background, who he chooses to spend his time with, like his friends, because one of his friends is actually a stripper, and she doesn't like that. She doesn't like the way that he is. And also he made some mention about like getting arrested in his vows, which was meant to be a joke, but she really didn't take it that way. And so I think that their sort of sense of humor really doesn't align. She had a bit of a meltdown after the first night that they spent together. So they did state that they were intimate on the first night, and she did say that they had a good time together. But then afterwards, she flipped it and said she didn't feel like there was any sexual chemistry between them, which I thought was quite interesting. And she went down this path of self-destruction and saying things like, I've worked so hard on myself for the past few years, and now I'm feeling really horrible about myself. And because they didn't have that immediate spark and that sexual chemistry, she felt terrible about herself. And I said to my husband, this is so strange. So she stated that she's put in so much work on herself and was feeling so much more positive about herself, and obviously worked through a lot of the things that she's been through in the past. She also did have a lot of body image issues in the past, which she has worked through. And within a matter of 12 hours and one intimate experience, she has allowed herself to feel this way. And I said to my husband, that's not right. Like, if you have undone all of the work that you've done on yourself in less than 12 hours, you haven't actually done the work. Like, I'm sorry. I know that she said that she's gone through a lot and that she has been feeling a lot better about herself. But if she's going to allow one intimate experience to undo all of that, I don't actually think that she's resolved anything. So also, not letting somebody make you feel that way, I honestly don't know how she's allowed a person to make her feel that way. That was quite interesting to me. She's got a lot more work to do, I feel. How can you let somebody make you feel that way in such a short period of time? But obviously something was really triggered in her. Like, potentially she has done the work, and then that one trigger, all over. Potentially she was triggered by this moment that she's had with her husband. But I don't know. It just didn't sound quite right to me. But anyways, I hope that things work out for all of the people that go on this show. But it is an interesting thing. There is also another couple, Rachel, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he is a little bit nerdy, but like super sweet. He's probably one of my favorites because he actually does seem like one of the most genuine guys on there. So yeah, he's quite sweet. And he had triggered her at one point because he had said something about like her having a certain personality when she was like in a certain situation, and she was like, no, I'm not like that, and he just kept on going on like trying to have banter, and she got so triggered by it. But anyways, I think she has a lot of underlying issues as well. I think she did mention like about partners in the past and sort of, you know, not having the best experience, and there may be some body image issues there as well for her. But yeah, there was so much talk about appearance and body image as well. It's just not it. Like in this day and age, like obviously, it is okay to have a conversation about it, but the negativity around body image was just next level. Like, I was getting a little bit triggered because you know what I'm like, and I am very positive about body image. I don't look at people and I don't judge them based on their appearances. Because obviously I like to get to know people, and I don't judge a book by its cover, because that is how I would appreciate people treat me as well. And yeah, it was just intense. Like, there definitely is a way that you can talk about it without being so negative. Probably the most upsetting thing about this season of MAFs is how openly everybody is sort of critiquing others' appearances and their bodies as well. And they are definitely editing it in a way where they're taking all the snippets and they're combining it together with like people's reactions. And obviously it's just for good TV, but it's not okay. It really is not okay. This should not be allowed on TV, honestly. It is going to be a triggering point for people. And no wonder so many people are conscious about what they look like when they're seeing this on TV. And the way that people are openly talking about it in such a negative way as well, it just allows people to think, oh yeah, it's okay. I can comment on that person's body. That's absolutely fine. I saw it on this reality TV show. But the person that was making those comments on this reality TV show has no idea how much that could impact somebody. Imagine the person that is paired with him watching that back. I would be ashamed. I would be very ashamed of that person if I did build a connection with them and I did end up staying with them. If I saw that is what the person was like, goodbye. Absolutely goodbye. I would not tolerate that at all. It's not even like there's subtle comments. It's like, no, I'm not going to be with somebody that's overweight. Just don't say things like that. That is so wrong to make comments like that, and absolutely unacceptable to me. But obviously I do know that is what gets engagement, and that's kind of sad. It's sad that all of these things are catching people's attention, but it just makes it seem like it's okay to make these comments. I really do wonder what impact this is going to have on the contestants' lives. Like, are they going to come out of this feeling more confident about themselves and say, you know what, I did this for myself. I put myself out there and I feel better about myself? Or are they going to compare themselves? Are they going to watch themselves on TV and be like, oh, I don't like the way that I look, or like, this person made this comment about my appearance, now I need to change it? I really do wonder what the outcome is going to be. And I do know that there was a contestant on the show, not last season, the season before, and the person that she was paired with made a real emphasis about not liking people that were overweight as well, not wanting to be with somebody like that. And she went on to lose a lot of weight and also enhance her appearance as well. So she looks like a completely different person now. And I'm sure that she did go through a lot being on the show and having to hear the way that he was speaking about her. And that's made her change her appearance completely. I don't know if it is a positive thing for her, but the fact that she has changed her body and also her face as well after the show, if you want to change your appearance, that is on you. I am absolutely not against enhancements as well. I did speak on one of my other podcasts that I do have work done. Anything that I've ever had done has been my choice. It hasn't been because somebody said to me, hey, Nikki, I think you need to go and get lip filler. I would not listen to anybody that told me that I needed to enhance my appearance. That is absolutely on me and the way that I feel, the way that I want to feel. So yeah, I would never change my appearance for anyone, ever, 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 ever. So yeah, it's interesting how some people respond to certain things. And like, say for example, if you are bullied at school for, I don't know what, like having a certain nose shape or something, and that drives you to the point of saying, I need to go and get a nose job because I have had so many people comment on my nose. It's like that has driven you to the point of making a change. Like, that is insane to me. Either you ignore these comments and say, no, you cannot affect me. Like, I do not care what you're saying. Or you make the change for yourself. If you are truly unhappy with the way something looks on your body, go change it, if that is what you want to do. But anyways, I feel like I could just go on about this all day. So yesterday I actually did talk to one of my friends about MAFs and how negative I thought that it was. And she did agree. She did think that like there was a huge focus on appearance and body image. And yeah, we don't love it, but we kind of do love the drama. So that's why we will continue to watch it. But yeah, if anybody is affected by anything that they see on reality TV shows or on TV in general, and you're getting triggered to the point where you're like thinking a little bit differently, maybe in a negative way, I would say maybe that show isn't right for you. So I'm clearly getting triggered by the show, but it's not changing the way that I feel about my appearance and my body as well. Those sort of things do not affect me. We're engaged by the drama. That's what me and my husband watch it for. It's just so interesting to see different personalities and how they come together as well. And I am definitely voting for Julia and Grayson. They are my top couple. I think that they're really going to work because they just had that immediate connection just through their values. I love that. I love that so much. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. But yeah, I hope everybody liked this episode and I will be in your ears again very soon. Thanks for listening, guys.